publicity has failed to withdraw its support to the Oli-led government. It was yesterday expected for the party to announce its withdrawal of the support given to the incumbent government. However, the party led by Pushpa Kamal Dahal continues to find itself in a catch-22 situation and doing more harm to its reputation in a highly charged national political affairs. Good morning, I'm Sarah Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. The Nepal Khanal faction of CPN-UML forms a parallel committee in Kathmandu district. Both the factions of the ruling party unite against Chief Minister of Karnali province. The Public Accounts Committee directs the government to collect arrears worth 10 billion rupees from industrialists for using dedicated and trunkline facilities. At least 50 people killed after flash flooding and landslides hit Indonesia and neighboring Timor-Leste. Rescue efforts continue for survivors. And Fakhar Zaman's career-best 193 runs goes in vain as South Africa clinched the second one-day to tie the three-match series. Senior leader of CPN-UML, Madhav Kumar Nepal, has stated that he would not budge from his stand to ease the modus operandi of party chairman and Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli. Announcing the parallel committee of the faction in Kathmandu district yesterday, Leader Nepal said that he would not buckle from his stand even if Premier Oli took action against him. Leader Nepal came down heavily on Premier Oli for harboring factionalism within the party, stating that the party's internal conflict was not for power but against Premier Oli's high-handedness. Leader Nepal said that the Oli-led government had so far failed to address public grievances. The faction formed a 225-member parallel committee led by Basanta Manandar in Kathmandu district. The faction has been forming parallel committees across the country, accusing Prime Minister Oli of running the party unilaterally even after the Supreme Court's decision revived the CPN-UML. The provincial government led by Mahendra Bahadur Shahi in Karnali province is bracing for more crisis after the parliamentary party meeting of the CPN-UML decided to recall 3 of its ministers from the incumbent government. We have more in this report.
The parliamentary party meeting of the CPN-UML in Karnali province held on Sunday decided to recall its ministers and urged Chief Minister Mahendra Bahadur Shahi to pave way for a political solution. This has increased the chances of the Shahi-led government to fall into minority. This was the first time that both the factions of the CPN-UML sat for the meeting after the Supreme Court revived the party. Apart from the speaker, 19 lawmakers, including 3 ministers from the Nepal faction, were present during the meeting. CPN-UML lawmakers, who have been divided since the no-confidence motion was tabled in October against Chief Minister Shahi, came together and urged the Chief Minister to pave way for a political solution. Likewise, 3 ministers from the incumbent government have decided to step down from their posts. Sunday's meeting formed a task team to draft a statute of the parliamentary party of the CPN-UML. The next meeting has been called for Tuesday. Meanwhile, the CPN Maoist Centre has written a letter to the Secretariat of the Provincial Assembly of Lumbini Province to remove 2 lawmakers who had quit the party to join the CPN-UML. Party Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal wrote to remove lawmakers Dadhiram Neupane and Dinesh Panthi from the post.
The Public Accounts Committee under the House of Representatives has directed the government to collect the arrears of 10 billion rupees for using dedicated and trunkline facilities. The meeting held yesterday directed the government to collect the amount within legal guidelines in a month from the industrialist who had used the dedicated and trunkline facilities from the Nepal Electricity Authority but failed to clear the payments. The Public Accounts Committee took the decision based on the recommendations from the subcommittee formed to study the issue. The subcommittee, led by lawmaker Mininder Rijal, had recommended the committee to direct the government to collect the arrears of 10.14 billion rupees from the industrialist for using the facilities. During the meeting, lawmakers also demanded for action to be taken against the industrialist who denied in clearing the dues. The Nepal Electricity Authority had provided industries with regular power supply through dedicated line during load shedding. The Nepali Oil Corporation has once again hiked the prices of petroleum products effective from midnight yesterday. The corporation has hiked the prices of petrol, diesel and kerosene by 2 rupees each, while prices of LP gas and aviation fuel have remained intact. Petrol will now cost 120 rupees per litre, while diesel will be sold at 103 rupees. Prior to this, the corporation had hiked the prices of petroleum products on 16th of March. The corporation has informed that the prices have been adjusted as per the rates received from Indian Oil Corporation on 1st of April this month. The corporation has hiked the prices, citing monthly losses despite the stability of oil prices in international market. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the local residents of Palpa what should be done to uplift the quality of health services in rural areas. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
हेल्पर्सहरुमा पनि भिडियो एक्सरेहरु भएदेखि प्रभावकारी हुने थियो।
अल्ट्रासाउन्ड ईसीजी जस्ता सेवाहरू उपलब्ध गराउन सकियो भने बिरामीहरुको समयमै रोगको पहिचान गरी उनीहरुलाई ज्यान जोखिममा हुन अथवा मृत्यु हुनबाट बचाउन सकिन्छ।
सुविधा आएमा सबैलाई छ, सुत्केरी हुन पाइने यस्तो पाठेघर सम्बन्धीको पहिला कति हामीलाई दुःख थियो।
Question: what's your say on large monetary scams in the cooperative sector being revealed one after another? Your options are A. Ill intentions of directors, B. lack of monitoring, and C. weakness of depositors. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Let's move on to sports update.
Sports news.
Abdullah Al Mutairi of Kuwait has been appointed as the head coach of the Nepalese national football team. All Nepal Football Association handed Al Mutairi the responsibility to coach the national team for a year. Head coach Al Mutairi believes Team Nepal will play some good football now.
Abdullah Al Mutairi has been appointed the head coach at a time when the Nepalese football team is preparing for the World Cup qualifiers and the South Asian Football Federation Championship. Al Mutairi, who has a pro license of Asian Football Confederation, will be coaching Team Nepal for the first time.
I am here only to make the Nepali people happy and proud of their team. I watch how they are celebrating all the night in the stadium after the Three Nation Cup. But I think we need to celebrate more when we qualify to Asia Cup or winning South Cup. I'm not to promise anything, but I promise one thing. Everyone will be proud of the Nepali players. Everyone will be proud of our fighters, and they will fight for Nepal flag. And I think the players have the quality to do something. It will be a challenge for me, for the players. They show something in Bangladesh game, the final game. But if I ask anyone here in this room, are you happy because we beat Bangladesh 2-1? They will say yes, but for me no. Because in the actually time of the match, we play only 49 minutes, and this is not football. If we want to play real football, the actually time must be 60 minutes and more.
The air pollution triggered by wildfires has rocked the nation in recent days. Amid the pollution crisis, a Samaritan Bhumi Raman Nepal has kicked off a one-man awareness campaign reaching out to various community forests and alerting the local residents there about the consequences of forest blazes. He had adopted a traditional way of blowing a trumpet to draw the attention towards his cause. The forest consumers are also quite excited to learn the techniques of controlling forest blazes from Nepal. Bhumi Raman Nepal had quit his government job some 30 years ago, and ever since he has dedicated himself to raising awareness for forest conservation. Nepal is happy with the increasing awareness level of the people, but has reservation against the government, which has failed to do much due to lack of policies to address the needs of forest consumers. The paragliding activities that were greatly hampered amid the pandemic have made a comeback in Pokhara's Sarangkot. However, amid the increasing paragliding activities, some on-field accidents have raised safety concerns. An experienced paragliding pilot, Raju Gaire, 4 months ago was killed during a mishap while landing. The fellow glider, Sheila Shrestha, was injured during the accident that occurred some 4 months ago. Earlier in the month of March, there was another paragliding mishap where an army man, Rajaram Magar, lost his life. The two-death casualty in quick time has had some impact on the paragliding activities. After the lockdown was lifted in the country, there used to be some 300 flights, but the number of flights has now come down to around 150. In just over 2-decade-long paragliding history in Pokhara's Sarangkot, some 20 people, including foreigners, have lost their lives in solo paragliding, while only 2 fatal mishaps have occurred with passengers. This is Sarah Chitrakar for our special segment Off the Beat and Kantipur News Desk. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good day.